I felt completely helpless. I thought my family would help, but every single ask, request, warning, whatever it is, just got met with total silence or total neglect.
You know, you see that pain that he feels in the Apple series that he's done, where he sits down once again with Oprah Winfrey, really to bare his soul, and it makes for pretty heartbreaking listening. I mean, many people may feel they've heard enough of Harry harp on about his mental health, but when you listen to him talk about what he experienced as a child, seeing his mother behind the wheel, chased by the paparazzi in tears, you know, that's it's hard to hear. It shouldn't have been that way, and that's clearly Harry's message. And what's also hard to hear is him say that he was told to just bury that pain, to get on with that grief when he was a young boy. He wasn't able to process what had happened because, as far as he says, Diana wasn't talked about. Her death wasn't talked about. It was a case of, you know, we've got to move on from this. And he says that Charles said to him, it was the same for me when I was a child. And I think that sort of certainly reminds us of what he said just as recently as last week in that podcast, when he talked about that cycle of genetic pain. And he has said, and he reiterates this in the Apple series, he had to leave Britain. He had to leave the royal family for a better life for himself and his wife, who he says reiterates what they said in Oprah, was suicidal when she was pregnant. They went to the royal family and they weren't helped. So hard-hitting allegations and claims from Prince Harry. I suspect those words, recollection may vary, will come up all over again, but this is the prince in his own words.
I mean, how significant do you think this programme will be, the me you can't see? Because he does actually accuse his family of total neglect.
He does, Gillian. He absolutely does. And he brings up those racism claims again. He says, my mother was chased to death while in a relationship with someone who wasn't white. Now look what's happening. So that the whole racism element as well has been brought into this. He doesn't seem to want to drop this. I feel perhaps he thinks he's not being heard. And that is why he is going to continually repeat this narrative. He's not letting it go. The problem is, for as long as he chooses not to let it go, I think it makes any hope of a reconciliation, both between himself and his brother and his father, who actually have been more in the firing line, I think, than William. It makes that very difficult indeed.
Katie Nicholl, thank you for sharing your views with us. Katie Nicholl from Vanity Fair, Royal Correspondent.